Guys, this is Jeff from TFF, just doing part 2 of the Matty Tongue deck profile. We're in the discussion stage, as we're going to discuss, I guess, tech choices and other reasonings behind certain plays and cards. And yeah, alright, for me, the one I really want to question is probably, I guess most of the time you want your field cards being on the field, am I correct?
Generally, yes. Like, if you want to set up, for Vanities and Lad, yes, you want all the Malefic Sideband, but, you have to know, when you're playing this deck, you have to know when to activate and play these cards. That's generally the thing. You don't want to just simply smack it down all the time, because, you have to know when to start putting pressure to your opponent.
That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
The reason why I asked this is because you've got Gauze here. I wasn't quite sure. I mean,
with all these field spells they get in the way.
Yeah, you got, and as well as you got your, you've also got Safe Zones. There's another card that generally can stay on the field.
Yeah, it could just stay dead, generally, yeah.
So what kind of situations, I guess, does Gauze become live?
Basically, when you have Lad on the field, everyone knows that when Lad has a really bad, we call it a side effect, when he goes down to, when he gets destroyed and sent to the grave, it will nuke your side of the field. Your entire board will be wiped, and leaving your entire field wide open to a direct attack. If your opponent somehow loops it and reduces attack just enough for them to get over it, or, basically, Gauze, it comes in handy just to have it in your hand, ready for, to prevent them from OTKing. Or, just an insurance policy, generally.
Fair enough,
And,
I mean...
this backfires a lot of times, and I wasn't running Gauze originally, and I've had times where this card would just kill me, and I'd be actually really kind of iffy about it. But it's a good card. It's a really strong card. But at times you love it. You love to hate this card at the same time.
Fair.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
From play testing this deck, to be honest, I actually hate this card.
The most?
The most.
The most, yeah.
This card should be the most deadest card in your entire deck.
Oh, okay.
Because, say, if you don't have your mausoleums...
All my terraformings.
Regardless, you don't have your tribute field spell, you really don't play this card, do you?
Well, it really depends. There are times where, say if I don't have this, or I can't actually tribute by paying my life points. I would just keep it in my hand, and I would slowly set up with it, if I have to, with smaller monsters. But that's only if necessary. Generally, my other monsters T-Kings, Fossil Dives would already start doing the job that they're meant to do. So this card would only need, I'd only really need to play this card if I needed to beat over something, or it needs to be a lot stronger than everything else.
I'm still iffy for this, but how often do you actually tribute summon your Vanity Fiend?
Very, very rarely. I do rely on this card, but,
I know it's, I guess, the engine of this deck, but... I always have bad issues with, I guess, tribute decks, unless they have, unless it's a deck that actually has proper fodder, like Frog Knocks.
Well, I guess, if you look at it this way, there's a lot of ways you can play around it. I have a heavy backline, and it gives you time to set up. If your opponent hasn't cleared your backline, or played Royal Decree, you're fine, for a bit, until you, draw a monster. Basically. That's one thing about this deck. You need the monsters, access to monsters. If you don't get them, you're going to start, it's going to be a bit of trouble.
Fair enough. Malefic Cyber and Dragon then. Why did you basically play this over, say, I guess, the Malefic Stardust?
Oh, the Malefic Stardust. I felt 2,500 is not really a lot, and you don't really need to protect your field smells like seal or a cowfish. This already protects itself. That would generally die anyway, and you would have another in hand, so it's fine. Really, you don't need to really do that. And this is a huge beta. Like it's 4K. Like you can hit something really hard, push the game. It's a pretty special song as well. If I don't have a monster on board.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And as well as since now the new Malefic drains are using Seal of Valor Calcoast to have like popped up
that's right.
beasts.
This will be like 45, so
So it's really big.
yeah.
As much as it's kind of obvious about the Grand Mole, but I actually quite like it in this kind of build.
Yeah.
Since it's so anti-meta.
Because it just sort of like helps you push.
Yeah.
Like, you've got a taking on field, and then you want to summon this, start like bouncing their monsters back and pushing with like a taking or like anything that you have, like even like vanities. It's really good. They won't be able to drop a goals. Like that's another thing. Once I get like a fossil donor out, all vanities, they can't drop a goals or a drag against me. Like you really can't save them.
That's fairly good there. Also, there's other scenarios in this deck that I've seen you put yourself through, and your, I guess, tech choices have kind of saved you from that.
Yep. That's
one particular scenario is Starlight Road. I've seen this happen quite a few times with you. It's really interesting that you can Starlight Road Lad.
Yes, that's right. So basically what will happen is when Lad dies, sent to the graveyard, he would attempt to nuke my field, and you really don't want that happening. If I have like a whole lot of set cards that are trying to protect me, Lad's going to negate me. So Starlight Road's down. It's also another insurance policy that I can negate the effect of that to protect my back row or my field, my already existing field. And you can get a pretty special summon out of that, and you'll be fine.
Fair enough. Like, just trying to think. Why wouldn't you run, I guess, more of Starlight Road if you can spam out Lads? I mean,
that is an interesting question. Yes, yeah.
I mean, if you can like bust out Lads like they're no tomorrow, then you can also just like, okay, every time your Lad's gonna die, you'll just Starlight and have a free Stardust on the field.
That is a pretty good idea actually, but this card does also help you, like in terms of say torrential tribute, mirror force. If you got a single monster on board and you summon another, you're not really gonna like be afraid of their back row. You just you have like an extra push. If they do torrential or mirror force you, you can protect your monsters. Like that is an idea, but yeah, single Stardust. I haven't tried it at 2, but single Stardust, Starlight Road is fine at the moment.
That's right.
It's an idea for the future. Yeah.
Okay. Another one for me is I still have some issues with Taking.
Yeah.
It's a great card.
Yeah.
But like if you've got Taking first turn and say, okay, since you run 2 of this and 2 of this, say you have 3 of, say, 2 dualities and 1 terraforming, and this is on board already.
Well, generally, I've never been
yourself?
I would hate myself if that happened, but I've never had that really bad situation or hand. I've never had like these dead in my hand. This is either on field. No, it's either dead or done its job, or it's in my hand already, and I'll play this first. Like, I've never had that situation, to be honest. It's really strange how, like, I've got all these searching cards, and I play triple taking, and this doesn't conflict at all. Like, I can play around it. Really.
That's perfectly fair. I mean,
generally, I don't always have to summon the taking. There are other cards that I can summon that will put pressure on them as well. But,
yeah, that's fair.
So,
I mean, Lightbeat heroes do similar things.
Yeah,
I mean,
they run like double emergency call, double duality.
Yeah, exactly.
Before the ban list, they were running triple and stuff. So,
yeah, exactly. So it's still perfectly
searching,
fine.
Played around it.
I think that's about it for me. I mean, that's all I really want to discuss with tech choices. Well, thank you very much, Matty Tong, and
Alright, thanks,
look
Jeff.
forward to seeing more of the progress on this deck. And yeah, anyway, like and subscribe.
Alright, thanks, guys.